Alright, everybody. My name is Solaris, and this is going to be the continuation of my One Piece news archive. Just yesterday, Japan One Piece Treasure Cruise tweeted out their June update for their June roadmap for what's coming up in One Piece Treasure Cruise. So, starting off with their first tweet, this is just detailing what is in this set of tweets. The first one being some updates about the community-voted legends. The second one is information about the upcoming Kizuna clash and what changes are coming to it. The third bullet here is the support batch that is coming for June. And this fourth one here is the Super Evolution that's coming out for this month. So, starting off with the community-voted Super, the legends that came out. The first one we've got is the Smoker that we all voted on, whether or not you voted for Smoker or Kuma or those other characters. Moria was one. I believe Caesar was the other. So we have the line art for him, and we've got some information about him. We have no other information like what he does, what his abilities are, what his stats are. Nothing like that, just the artwork right now. And some of the color is in there right now. So this is from Punk Hazard, it looks like, because you've got some machinery in the background. And then we have artwork for Legend Sugar, which, whether or not you voted for Legend Sugar, we're getting Legend Sugar. But this is from Dressrosa arc, where she's making her trademark face right there. And once again, we just have information on, like, her name, but nothing else like her abilities. The next tweet is for the Kizuna information. So the character that's coming out for this Kizuna is Luffy and Hancock. This is a dual unit. They confirm it right here in Japanese. So if you want to double check, go ahead and translate that for yourself. But this is the Luffy Hancock dual unit for Kizuna. So it's going to be, it should be similar to Zoro, Sanji, and Marco and Ace, where it may be a couple months required to max these characters out. This art is from the Impelled Down arc, but this is like a hypothetical scene. Didn't actually happen, because Luffy and Hancock didn't fight in these outfits together. But yeah, so looking forward to Luffy Hancock. It's a duel that a lot of people thought would be happening, so fun to see. So in terms of how this Kizuna will function, if you're on Japan and you played for a couple months, you'll know that there is Team Kizuna that we had once before. In Team Kizuna, you'll have the opportunity to join a team of a group of people, and you will compete in a ranking to see how many clears of Kizuna you and your team can get as a collective. In this Kizuna, they're going to display the top 5 teams to everyone at the end. So I believe this will happen in-game. It could happen on a website or something like that, but they're going to show everyone who won, their team name, each player and their name, as well as how many points they had. And there are some caveats, like if your team name or player name is inappropriate, they won't show you. So they are trying to encourage people to be competitive about Team Kizuna and to participate with others. And then the other thing happening is a small change, because in last Kizuna, if you didn't join a team, you weren't assigned to one. So now, if at the end of the team creation period, you still aren't part of a team, they will put you into a team automatically. So everyone should be able to participate in a team, because that way you have the opportunity to get good rewards from ranking high. And they try to emphasize the point that playing in a team gives you the opportunity to get rainbow gems and other rewards. The next part of this update is the support batch, which is a very, very exciting part of this, because all those dupes you've been holding you can finally feed. A lot of these characters have viability in PvP, so if you're holding dupes to level them up, then their PvP stats will increase. So we have 16 units here that are shown to get their support abilities. We don't know if these are all the legends that are shown, but we do know that there are going to be at least 70 characters in this batch getting support abilities. So this includes legends, rare recruits, Fortnite units, Coliseum units, potentially raid bosses, or so we don't know who else could get it other than the people right here, but all we see right here are rare recruits and legends. And they also gave us information on 3 of them. So we see Katakuri's is up here, X-Drakes, and Izo's. And for those 3, Katakuri, he supports Cracker and Smoothie, and once per adventure, when the supported character uses their special, he will boost attack against delayed enemies for 1.4 times for 1 turn. So very strong conditional boost that you can proc with a pretty commonly used set of characters, because you've got Legend Cracker, Rare Recruit Cracker is used sometimes, Raid Cracker has some good utility, so you can use him sometimes, and then Smoothie with Smoothie Oven, Rare Recruit Smoothie. So there's a lot of options for using Katakuri support, and 1.4x boost that can't be countered right now is very strong. X-Drake here is the second one. X-Drake's is a bit simpler, but he supports Hawkins, Apu, and Uriji. And X-Drake is once per adventure, when the supported character uses their special, reduces damage received by 50% for 1 turn. So this is one that can save your life on certain fights where you're about to take a big hit and you just need the extra damage reduction. You can't fit that character in. So we have Legend Hawkins that you can use. Apu, I'm sure we'll get some good characters soon, because he's part of Wano Arc, so we may get some good Apu characters. And then Uriji's there, and he always has potential. Like, the Supernovas will have potential to have very good units being used. And this is a pretty easy support to fulfill. The last one here is Izo. And Izo supports Ace, Marco, and Whitebeard. And his support is once per adventure, when the supported character uses a damage dealing or health cutting special, which there are a lot of Aces and Whitebeards that deal damage, not as many Marcos, and we'll go through that in a little bit. Then you can change all badly matching orbs on all characters, so your entire team, into matching orbs. So if an enemy preemptively changes all your orbs into badly matching and you use like a Whitebeard Marco special, that wouldn't really help because Whitebeard Marco special changes your orbs. But if you use like Raid Ace, you use them on a Raid Ace, or pre-evolution Quick Whitebeard, because his 6+ removes that damage dealing, then that would also be another viable use of Izo. So if we wanted to go Whitebeard, Ace, and Marco, and we wanted to look at all the ones that dealt damage, we can go over to the database. This is a trick that not many people know about. If you type in a name, and then you type in the pipe symbol, so that's backslash, but instead of just hitting backslash, you do shift backslash, that's pipe. You can actually put multiple search terms, and it will do all 3 of them together. So that's why I'm getting Ace, Marco, and Whitebeard together. So if we want to look for damage dealers, then there's 6-star Ace that's there. There's the Marineford Ace. There's Treasure Map Whitebeard. There's Luffy and Ace. But Luffy and Ace probably is not as good for that team. There is Limited Rare Recruit Marco. or this is Treasure Map Limited Rare Recruit Marco. And then Marco and Ace dual unit. And then for Health Cutters, there's Whitebeard, basically most forms of Whitebeard. So there's a good amount of units that you can use Izo on. He may see some units. And a lot of these other ones may have unique supports as well. So there's a lot of potential for this batch, and there's a lot of units getting supports too. So we're getting close to the end of all the support units that we need. Alright, so the last big bit of information here is the next Super Evolution, which is very exciting because it's always nice to see an older unit get a little bit more relevance in the meta. For the most part, people are thinking this is Rayleigh. You can see his hair flowing in the background. He kind of has short hair that goes like to his shoulders, and he's punching something off to the side, and he has a cape. It's not a lot to go on, like with Lucy and Marco and some of the other 6+s that we had, like Garp as well. But this one, there's not many other candidates that don't have a 6+ that it could be, so it could be some Rayleigh, so either V2 or V3 Rayleigh. I'm expecting V2 Rayleigh, but he will be coming early next month. Early July, we'll be seeing Rayleigh. The easy way to tell who the next 6+ is keep an eye on the Rayleigh shop. Typically, they will start selling skill books for the legend that is getting the 6+. They did that with Fuji, they did that with Garp, so keep an eye out for the Rayleigh shop, and we may know beforehand who it is. And then this last tweet is just saying, stay tuned, there's more to come next month. So that is the major news for Japan. For global, there was the Kizuna data mine. So global is now starting their next major Kizuna character, which is Marco and Ace. And Marco and Ace started off with the limited rare recruit, and this is a Kizuna Sugo Fest limited rare recruit, Akainu. And Akainu, he changes all your orbs to Dex. If your captain is Dex, he chain locks you to 3 times and boosts your attack by 1.75. And if your captain isn't Dex, he still chain locks you and boosts your attack, but it's for 2 turns, and it's a little weaker chain lock. So you can either get a very strong chain lock or a weaker one for multiple turns. And he's a Dex captain, so he'll boost the attack of Dex characters. He may get a boosted captain ability for Kizuna, but we don't have info on that right now. And I probably could find it somewhere, but it should be similar to what Japan had. So, and he also has a support ability, so he supports the admirals and the fleet admiral, where if they use their special, he will give you a chain lock. And these, like Tesoro support is good with has this. Raid Boa Hancock has this. It's really strong because there's a lot of cases where you get your chain reduced, so you don't get as many increases in your chain per hit. So having one of these with your support just frees up a character slot, and these are good characters, or these characters have good units, so you may be able to fit that into your team. His support just makes strength and quick slots have matching effects for himself. And he does have a limit break, so keep that in mind. And then we also have Neo Sengoku. So this is the story Sengoku, just reskinned. And this will be free to everyone. You'll be able to farm him pretty easily. And he will reduce your cooldowns by 1. And if you're in Kizuna Clash, he will reduce paralysis duration by 4 turns and defense up by 4 turns. So, very good utility in Kizuna. Basically, the only time you're going to use him is in Kizuna. So, farm him up. He should give you a 1.1 times ticket boost. So, you'll get an extra 1 or 2 tickets per run if you have him in your team, for most people. His captain ability is not great, but his special ability reduces special bind, or his sailor ability reduces his special bind, so he can get around some of that, even though he doesn't reduce special bind himself. So it's okay. He's just gonna be good utility overall. Now, Marco and Ace, the highlight of this update for Global. These guys are very good, and their longevity is really nice. They will be very useful in the future because their special cuts your HP by 99% and then deals the 30 times your HP lost in damage to all enemies. So just like Shiki or Dexa Ace, you can deal a lot of damage and you can clear an entire wave or clear fodder around a main boss pretty easily with this. They will also heal for 50 times their recovery at the end of your turn for 1 turn. So their recovery ends up going up to their recovery ends up going to 310. So you've got a hefty amount of recovery that you're going to be getting at the end of your turn. And with sailors and other stuff, you're going to be able to boost that up a decent amount. I'd even recommend putting recovery cotton candy on them, because in a few months, recovery cotton candy... The question of should I put recovery or HP on this character won't matter anymore. So you can put whatever cotton candy you want on any character, because in a few months it won't matter, because you can put any cotton candy on any character. So yeah, you can get a lot of recovery on here. It will basically heal you up to full. So most teams will heal up to full. It's very good recovery. And if you use a character like Jack will extend that an extra turn. So you could get up to 3 turns of almost a full HP heal at the end of each turn. So it's very useful overall. Continuing on with their special, they will boost the attack of strength characters by 2.75 times for 1 turn. So that's unconditional 2.75 times attack boost. So no matter what your HP is, what your team composition is, no matter what, they will boost that attack for strength characters, which is fantastic, especially on Japan right now, where strength V2 Snake Man, I guess both Snake Mans are strength, but V2 Snake Man is probably one of the strongest captains in the game, and he boosts strength characters by 5 times depending on their orbs. So having that huge attack boost is really nice. And then he removes attack up and enrage, so great utility, like fantastic utility. And that's complete removal, so even if it's a 99 turn attack up and enrage, or 99 plus, he'll remove that completely, and then they'll transform for 3 turns. Their captain ability isn't insane, but it's still very good. They'll boost strength characters by 3.75 times for their attack, and they'll also boost recovery by 1.25. So not terrible, but it's still really good. Like, if you need to use them as a captain, you won't be hurting for damage. And then also makes recovery and tandem slots beneficial for strength characters. So pretty solid captain ability. Now, their swap effect is also pretty strong. It changes their own orb and badly matching orbs into strength. So for any teams that have for any fights where you have like recovery and tandem orbs count as badly matching debuff, using their swap will change all of those badly matching recovery and tandem to strength, which is one of the most valuable things that can happen with this swap effect. And it's strength orbs and not matching, so sometimes that's useful, where you just want the strength orb and not just a matching orb, especially with V2 Snake Man. So yeah, Marco and Ace, very good unit. They're Free Spirit fighter. Free Spirit is a good, strong class. And they're strength. And that's... So you don't have to worry about color at all for if you're doing something like that in team building. So that is the key thing about the Kizuna coming up to global. The other things coming up to global are Hawkins Forest, which gives us the Grudgedolf ship. So Hawkins' main ship, the training forest is called Straw, which is kind of confusing because I thought it was Straw Hat, and it was just Straw. But Hawkins Forest is a pretty difficult forest, but his ship is not terrible. Like, it's a pretty solid ship. I can see it getting more use if meta shifts a little bit, but right now the fight is just way too hard to justify using this ship that often. If you can get it, great, but after that it's hard to use his ship. So at max level, he will reduce cooldowns by 1 turn at the start of the battle for everyone, and then he boosts, or the ship boosts, Slasher and Striker characters' HP by 1.25. So pretty sizable HP boost. And then we'll boost their attack by 1.6 if they have a Rainbow Orb, a Matching Orb, or a Wano Orb. If they don't, then boost their attack by 1.5, and at the end of the turn recovers 1,000 HP. So if you're running a Luffy Zoro captain with all Slasher subs or Striker Free Spirit subs, then you could use this ship, and if you're able to get yourself a full board of Wano Orbs, then that's a nice 1.6 times attack. Compared to like the Koi ship where you had to be full health, or the Ace Spade Pirate ship where you had to be under a certain HP threshold, like this ship is easier to fulfill the requirement for the bigger attack boost. You also get a good amount of HP, so there's some survivability there inherently built in. There's cooldown reduction on it, so you can have shorter speed runs. And the big thing that I like is that it adds 1,000 heal at the end of each turn. So if you've got Vivi Rebecca on your team, which they are Striker, you can have your sockets, your ship, and Vivi Rebecca swap every turn, healing you for 4,000 each turn. And that's without captains. With captains, you could go up to way higher than that. But this ship, very good sustain, very good HP, and it's a very good burst turn attack boost if you wanted to do it that way. So it's a great ship. The problem is it is a very difficult ship to obtain compared to the Kid Forest that came out on global, or on Japan. And then the last thing that is coming out to global in terms of content is half stamina raid bosses. And this is happening at the end of this month, and there are Chopperman missions related to it. We don't know the full extent of the details of this or why this event is happening. It just seems like maybe they're renewing the raids. It could be with a version update. They add more raids to the permanent raid pool, so they want us to encourage us running those raids. The permanent raid pool being the one on Extra Island, where they're there depending on their typings. So you go over to Clash. Today is Thursday, so it's Psy. So for this event only, there will be half stamina. So it's a 4-day period, and it just says to clear raids. And if you clear a raid 30 times, you get 3 gems. And then there's other steps up to that with other rewards. I think the total is just 3 gems, though. You can get evolvers, you can get specific forbidden tomes, you can get some specific universal skill books, or class-specific skill books, and then 3 gems. So yeah, there's a lot of raids that are available that you'll be able to complete. And then something that is affecting all servers right now, if you play on iOS and you plan on buying gems, then take note that right now there's an error with purchasing gems on iOS. Your purchases may not be processed properly, but the transaction did take place, so it may take a while before your rainbow gem amount in game is properly reflected by your purchases. So if you buy gems and they don't show up right away, don't try to buy gems again immediately. Or during this period, sorry, not right now, but during this period, if you bought gems, you wouldn't see it right away. So if you tried to buy gems again immediately, you wouldn't have seen it. You needed to restart your game or just wait a little bit, then it would update there. And if you're still experiencing some issues with that, they're saying there may be some issues still, then just wait a minute. Don't try to keep buying it. The transaction may have already gone through, so just wait a little bit before trying to spend the gems or trying to buy more gems. So yeah, that's everything for the 11th of June for One Piece Treasure Cruise. There has been nothing on Korea that was related to global, so all the global news was not reflected on Korea, so we may see some separation between Korean events and global events. Who knows? So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys coming out, and I hope that we'll be able to see more of new characters and new effects coming out. So yeah, my name has been Solaris, and I'll see you guys next time.